Hello cuties, welcome to my channel. Hey YouTubers, what's going on? This is Cutelilvoice. I hope you cuties are doing okay today. So happy Saturday to everyone out there. So today will be story time, and I know you guys like story time, the last story time I did, and I got a few thumbs up. So I was really excited about that. So I am back again now to do another story time for you guys. And this story time will be on how I met my husband. So, okay, I met my husband at a very early age. I was 21 and he was 22. So at this time, I'm in the phase of talking to lots of guys and, you know, trying to figure out who I want to date and not so much want to be with long term, because I was only 21. So I'm just trying to play the field and just be out here and go on dates and go out clubbing and do what I want to do. But so I was 21. I moved out of my mom's house at 20. I had my first apartment in Detroit. Then I moved to the suburbs. And then I had my apartment out there. So I was pretty lonely in the younger stages of my life. My friends went off to school or wherever they was at, and I really didn't talk to too many people, and some of my friends and I fell out, but we're close now, some of them. But anyways, yeah, so I didn't have many friends, so I didn't really have anybody to talk to. So when I moved here, my whole routine was go to work, come home. I worked at Old Navy downtown, downtown in the city I stayed in, and I went to work. I came home at 8. I watched TV. I called my mom continuously because at this point she had cancer, and she was on her deathbed. So I would call her all the time, and I was lonely and I was depressed because she was dying, and I didn't have any friends. So I was like really lonely and depressed at this stage of my life. And at the time I felt like I needed a male companion in my life. So the same pattern kept going: work, home, eat, sleep, work, home, eat, sleep. And at this point I was like, okay, I'm just really lonely. I need someone to talk to. I need to hang out and have fun or do something. So after work, I decided to go to the library down the street from where I worked at. So I went to the library and I was like, well, I'm just going to get on the internet and browse around, go on Yahoo, check my emails, whatever. So it was this site back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember, but it's a dating site called blackplanet.com. And so I was like, let me go on here and check my notes. And mind you, this site came out in the 90s. So I checked my notes, and I probably had like 30 notes, because, you know, I haven't checked my notes in so long. So at the top of my notes was a message from my husband, and so I always check my messages at the top first. So I decided to check his message first because he was like the first one. So I checked his message, and he was like, hey, how are you doing? How are you? You are pretty. I want to get to know you. So I was like, let me see who he is, because you know when you go on those type of sites, you want to see who you're talking to. So I went on the site and I seen this guy. He was bright as ever. He looked like a white man because he was so fair, and he had the saddest face. Like, I can't even explain it, but like, you know, like a picture expresses 1,000 words. So I was like, wow, he looks sad, like his life is like miserable. Like, that's how the picture looked to me. So I was like, he's cute, but like I wasn't like trying to really talk to nobody. It was just kind of like trying to like pass time by. So I just sent him a message back, thinking that, you know, I would never hear from him again. And I said, well, thank you, thank you very much. And that was it. So I spent an hour at the library. Then I went home. I walked home, maybe like 15 minutes away. I walked home, went back to work. I was like, let me go to the library. I don't feel like going home. So I went to the library again. So I had forgot totally that I had sent him a message back the other day. So I checked my messages again, and he said, no problem. And he was like, here's my number, give me a call. So I was like, I was like, at first I was like really not feeling him. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. But like I said, I was kind of lonely, and at this point, like, I could use somebody to talk to at night. So I took his number down and I put it in my pocket, and I went through all the messages I had, and I sent some replies to other guys, and just played around on the internet for a while, played some games, got bored, went home, ate, went to sleep. So a couple weeks went by, went to work, came home, still bored, still lonely, talked to my mom all day, still bored, talked to my little sister. At this point, my sister was like, she was probably like 12, 13, so couldn't really talk to her much about anything because she wants to talk about Barbie dolls. So, so I decided to finally call him. He was just gonna be like a conversation buddy. So I ended up calling him, and we were talking, and he decided he wanted to ask me out on a date. So at this point, I'm like, well, I can get out the house. So, he, got a car. So, every girl, as a young adult will want a man with a car, so they can be taken out and wine and dine and stuff like that. So I was like, well, let me just see how I like him. Let me go out with him. So one day after work, I got off work. We had a date planned. He picked me up from my job, and he got out the car and approached me. He opened the car door for me. I got in, and we went off to the bowling alley because he's a bowler. So I was kind of peeping out how he looked and stuff, and I mean, he didn't have a haircut at this point, and I'm like, I don't know. He could just be a nice friend, He wasn't ugly at all. He wasn't unattractive to me. I'm just really very picky, and I just really wanted to get to know him. So we went to the bowling alley, and he bowled a perfect game, a 300 game. So he's in a league, so he's really good at bowling. But at this point, I didn't know how good of a bowler he was, and I didn't really know anything about bowling at all. So he bowled a 300, and he didn't really brag about it because I didn't even know he did it until one of his buddies came up to me and was like, oh, you must be his good luck charm. So after that, we left the bowling alley. He was all excited and everything. I guess he won some money that night, so he bought me ice cream, because every time he wins bowling, like a high score, he gets like hundreds of dollars and stuff like that. So, and sometimes thousands. So he treated me to ice cream down the street from my house. So we always ate ice cream at our favorite place. When we got to know each other, we would go to that same spot. So that night we ate ice cream. We talked a little bit. We had our favorite ice cream. We both love cookies and cream. And so we ate. He came back to my place, and he chilled with me for a minute, and he left. And at that point, I was like, he's so sweet. I really like him, like, by the conversation that we had. And I was like, okay, well, I want to keep him around. So he would come over every day after he got off work. And after, I got off work, I would call him, like, can you come over? He would come over. I would cook for him. And, I don't mind cooking for somebody that's not my husband, because I feel like that's the way to a man's heart, is his stomach. And I liked him, I was getting to like him more. So I was like, hey, I'm cooking. I'll invite him over to eat. And I thought it would be nice. He enjoyed my cooking. And every day we would watch King of the Hill. And we would watch King of the Hill. on my TV because I didn't have cable. So we watched King of the Hill every night, and we would laugh and we would just have a good time. And months went on. It was like 3 or 4 months. We weren't intimate at all. We didn't have sex. We didn't even try. He never tried to make a move on me. He was so nice to me. He offered to pay my rent one night, and I was like, hey, okay. I'm not turning that down. So he paid my rent. He was just a sweet guy. We went out all the time. We had a great time, and I was like really falling for him. So okay, like maybe 6 months went on. He was like, can you move in with me? You know, I want you to move in with me. And I was like, well, I don't know, you know, I don't want to move in with a man until I'm married. And I talked to my mom about it. She was like, no, why buy the cow and get the milk for if you can get the milk for free? And I didn't really know what she meant. Basically, she was saying, like, why would he marry you if he getting everything that he needs? And if I'm cooking for him, cleaning for him, having sex with him for free, why would he marry me? And I really did take that to heart. But unfortunately, my mom passed away in 2008, and I was devastated. Her son was like cutting up. He was taking over the house. He put a gun up to my head, and I was kind of like forced to move out the house, of my mom's house, because actually when I had my apartment downtown, I moved back in with my mom because she had cancer and she was dying. So at that point, I couldn't go back to my apartment because I didn't have the funds, and I was kind of like, you know, forced to move out. So I moved in with my cousin, and then a year later, me and him moved in together, and we have lived together for 8 years now. Actually, we've lived together for 9 years, and we've been, no, actually, I'm sorry, we lived together for 8 years. We've been together 9 years. And in 2017 will mark 10 years that we've been together. And I really, really love him with everything. He is still my best friend. He's still my everything. Now, you know, we got married in 2013. We brought in a beautiful baby. And it's just more positive things to come after this. So at first I didn't really like him, and then I ended up having this baby, and he ended up marrying me. And I told my mom before she died, I said, Mom, don't worry, this is my husband. And I kept that to her so she would be at ease with things. And after I told her that, she was kind of easy with me moving in with him, because I guess she felt like he was that good of a man to me, and she trusted me. But one word of advice for you guys, for you ladies especially, sometimes our standards are so high. We look over things that are a blessing in our lives and that come into our life for a good reason, and we pass them by. But I would just say to you ladies, make sure you don't pass up your blessing looking for something that might glitter, but it's not, you know, gold. You know, everything that's glitter is not gold, if you ever heard the saying. So that's how I found my Prince Charming. And 2017 we'll be together 10 years, and I'm very, very excited about that. And he keeps me happy. He is a great father and a husband. So ladies, that is my story. I know it's extra long. I hope you do like the story. I hope it wasn't too drawn out for you guys, but you know, that's the what I want to say. That's the way of the stories, you know, to like tell the stories, and sometimes they're drawn out, and you know, but I'm gonna get out of here. I know I've been talking a lot, so I do hope that you guys subscribe to my channel. Also, thumbs up for this video, like, comment, and subscribe. See you later.